This just might be the most useful thing to have on your desk. This is called the Mokin 13-in-1 docking station. You get a total of 11 ports that allow you to connect multiple devices to your laptop simultaneously. I mean, you can run up to two 4K displays, allowing you to multitask with ease. On top of that, this thing can output a total of 160 watts, meaning you can charge your laptop, phone, or tablet all at the same time. It does not take too much desk space, so you'll have enough room for mouse and keyboard. If you want to clean up your desk clutter or upgrade your workspace, then check out this docking station. So I have been using a dock with my MacBook Pro for almost 5 years now. And since it's finally starting to show its age, I have been on a hunt to find its perfect replacement. And after months of searching, I might have found it. Or I should say, it found me. In today's video, we're checking out the Mokin 13-in-1 USB-C laptop charging station. I'll walk you through everything it can do, and by the end of this video, you'll have a pretty good idea if it's worth for your setup or not. I would like to thank Mokin for sending this dock out for a review. This is my own independent review. Mokin does not have any say or input into this. So let's get started. So the first question is, why do you even need a dock in the first place? A dock lets you reduce clutter on your desk and free up your space. You can see I can connect up to two monitors, mouse and keyboard, and anything else with this dock, and then just have one USB-C cable go into my laptop and everything just flows in smoothly. It really simplifies the entire setup. Now let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see what we get inside. Here's the main dock itself. Comes in a package just like this. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. Inside the box, you get a user guide, which is, all the information you need to know in order to operate this. Next up, you have the dock itself. Wow, it's pretty chunky, pretty heavy. So here's the dock itself. Feels pretty chunky and heavy. Seems like you get an accessory kit. Let's see what's inside. And it only comes with a power cord and a USB-C cord. So one thing to note is that you're gonna have to buy additional USB-C or USB-A cords because this only comes with one of them. All right, now for the main dock itself. This thing is heavy. Feels like a little brick, so it must be built pretty well. Well, we'll test it out and find out. Overall, it has a matte gray finish, which feels a bit premium. And if you remove this plastic cover, we have sort of like a plastic or a glass panel. This lights up and shows your display. If you flip it over, you'll find rubber feet on the bottom, and with the combination of the weight and the feet itself, it should stay planted and should not move. All right, let's take a look on the back where all the magic begins. Now, this port can deliver up to 100 watts of power to your laptop, so you'll stay charged and all your peripherals will, be routed to your laptop. You have a keyboard and mouse input. We have the two HDMI ports. Yes, they can do 4K 60. So yes, you can run two 4K monitors without any issues. Next up is the gigabit Ethernet port. Sadly, this does not have 2.5 or 10 gig Ethernet. So, usually I have a 10 gig Ethernet at home. So kind of like a letdown for me personally. Moving to the front, we have, starting from the left, the power on button. And then we have two USB-C ports with 10 gigabits per second transfer speeds. Perfect for external SSDs or any high-speed accessories. There's also a 10 gig USB-A port, so if you're still running older USB-A devices, this should have you covered. There are two more USB-C ports. Both are capable of delivering 100 watts of power. That's great for fast charging, cameras, laptops, or even, any other devices that you have. And finally, we have a USB-A rated at 5 volts, 2.4 amps, which gives you up to 12 watts of output. So something very minor that you need to plug in, you could plug it in with that one. I'm sure I'm going to be using both of these a lot. Just keep in mind, the total output for this is 160 watts. So if you're charging multiple devices, then the power will be shared amongst all. All right, let's power this on and see what we get. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. I'm going to go ahead and power this on. So just press and hold the power button and the dock will power on. And right away, we see all the outputs, right? So I don't have a laptop plugged in, but I do have my phone plugged in on C1, and then C2 is empty, and then A is right here. Nothing is plugged in there. Now you can cycle through the menu. So if I press this again, HDMI, I have no monitors plugged in, so it says no signal. If I cycle again, the total output of this device is 26 watts at this point, and we're back to the main screen. So it tells you which device is using how much power, which is sort of cool, I think. So this dock claims to have 160 watts of total output. So I wanted to test that claim and see how near or far we get from that. I went ahead and plugged in my Anker power bank, which is the fastest thing that charges in my house. And the next thing I connected was my iPhone. Also, I plugged in my MacBook Pro, and as we can see, my MacBook Pro is maxing out at 60 watts per hour, which is the maximum input it can take. Next up is the power bank, which is charging at 30 watts per hour. And then finally, the iPhone is charging at 30 watts per hour. The total output of this device is 111 watts. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and unplug my MacBook Pro and see what happens. So immediately, as soon as I unplugged my MacBook Pro and only have my iPhone and my Anker power bank plugged in, my output went up to 140 watts. And if we switch through the menu, we can see that 100 watts is going to my Anker power bank, and then 38 to 40 watts is going to my iPhone. So the total output was 160 that it claims. It is doing 140 if you have the right devices plugged in. Even after connecting the monitor, I didn't see any performance issues, meaning the power output was still 60 watts for charging my MacBook Pro. And then I tested the same scenarios that I did earlier, and I got the same sort of power. All right, let's discuss some cons, because everything I've talked about so far was pretty much a pro, but let's just talk about the con. The first con, which I already hit on earlier, was that this is missing a 2.5 gig or a 10 gigabit Ethernet port. So I wish it had a faster Ethernet, because I'm not able to edit my videos right off from my NAS system. The second con is that, it is missing an SD card reader. Since I'm a content creator, I'm recording my videos all the time and using my SD card to plug into my docking station and then offload those files. This not having that feature is a little bit of a letdown for me personally. Another con is that when you plug in your laptop, and let's say the total output it can take is 60, you still have 100 watts of power remaining. But then if you plug in anything else, it only maxes out at 30 watts and not hitting the full 160. With my laptop plugged in, I only maxed out at 115. But on the other contrary side, if you unplug your laptop and then plug in your, let's say in my case, my Anker power bank and my iPad or my iPhone, then I did get 140 watts of total output. So one more con is that it's missing an audio input or a headphone jack. It does not have one, and that is a little bit of letdown, because I have my speakers that I have connected to my, my older CalDish docking station, which work great because all I have to do is plug in my laptop and everything is wired and ready to go. Whereas this is missing that feature, and I really wish it had it. Okay, so let's talk about pricing. So this dock retails for around $89.99, and that's on Amazon after a 10% discount. And I think this is priced reasonably fair, and in terms of the features that you're getting, the overall power output that you're getting. Overall, this is a very good package for the price and everything. I wish it had those extra features that I mentioned earlier. Apart from that, this is a very good docking station for charging my iPhone and charging my, Anker power bank. It does that pretty fast, so I'm very impressed overall. However, I'll still stick to my CalDigit TS3 for now, and then find for the next best dog that's out there. Well, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you like and subscribe this video, and then I'll see you in my next one.